and welcome to another edition of San Diego Sports Junkies, a show for fans,
by the fans.
I'm your host, Josh Taylor. You can follow me on Twitter at SDFan2378, and I'm
Justin Smead, and glad that you guys could join us today. I'm at Bolts Pride 21. You can follow me on Twitter. Like we always say, we're always throwing down good news, information on anything San Diego local area. So follow us.
Yeah, we're going to dive right into it. Padres week in review. You know, they were 5-2 over this last homestand. Really played some solid baseball. They're 12-7 for the month of July. Have a big series right now against the Giants. Kicking off here in a couple minutes. They're playing really well.
They are. Out of this break, man, it's been awesome. 5-2, like you said. To get these three games, like we were talking earlier, maybe a 2 out of 3 from the Giants this week would really catapult us. And not saying we're going to sweep in and start ringing bells for first place, but we're going to at least try to make a little run here, carry the momentum from these last couple series.
Right.
Really beating up on some really bad teams, which is a great sign.
Right, and that's what everybody keeps knocking on. They're saying that, we're beating, under 500 teams. Yeah. Well, whatever. But it is what it is. You got to take the wins when you can get them.
Supposed to beat who you're supposed to beat.
And now we can show our true colors against the Giants, and like you said, hopefully take 2 out of 3 and catch up on the rest of the division.
Oh yeah.
As far as our week in review goes, Volquez, I was at the game the other day. Guy,
lucky.
Throws a one-hitter, complete game shutout. Honestly, there was a pretty weak little dribbler in between the pitcher and Headley. But, man, what a great game. Such, excitement from the fans. It was really exciting to be there.
I really thought, it was too early in the game where the hit was made.
Yeah, about the fourth inning.
Right, and it was a dribbler. But if you look back in hindsight and the way he threw the rest of the game and made his adjustments, it really could honestly been looking at the first Padres no-hitter in history.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that little dinker, man, it really irritates me that we couldn't get that out right there.
Right.
Right in no man's land, third base in the pitcher spot. So
right. Fox, threw it out there after the telecast that we've had 28 one-hitters.
Yeah. Too many. You remember the Jake Peavy, Chris Young days,
right?
With all those guys, and I think they threw a few apiece too. I always had the game exciting late, and then Latos a couple times a few years ago. So
right, so it's like we're on the cusp, man, and maybe in these next 28 we get 2 or 3. Let's hope and get off the schneid.
That or a cycle.
Right, we'll take both right now.
Give me something.
So trade deadline is among us, and Carlos Quentin just signed a 3 years, $27 million contract, part of the extension, a no-trade clause, and a $3 million bonus for playing in 320 games or more. What's your feelings on that?
For me, being a big Padre fan, we weren't sure if he was going to be dangled out there for free agent market. We've heard all the rumors, the top 3 from our team, and it was just good to see. It was good to see the Padres make an investment to the fans, not just the team,
right.
The fans, for the next few years to come. And like we've touched on the last few shows, we've got the O'Malley group coming in here. We don't know what the payroll is going to be like, but like we were touching on earlier, we can really build around Carlos Quentin, and we can really put pieces around him to get this team in the right direction.
Right, and on top of that, like you said, building around him is going to be key. We need somebody solid. We've lost, Adrian Gonzalez, and we need that production in the lineup.
Oh, yeah.
And to build around him, if he can stay healthy, which he's really raved about the Padres organization and the fact that their training staff has really
legit
done well on getting him on the field and keeping him healthy. And if we can keep
which is the contrary from what people have been saying all year because of all the injury bugs. And it's good to hear somebody say that the training staff's doing a good job. So.
Absolutely right. And if they can keep him healthy, man, what a nice addition to the lineup and to make fans excited for years to come.
Power bat in the lineup. You always got to be excited about a threat in the middle of the heart of the order. So
right. Also, Houston Street. They've opened up contract talks with him as well. Would be another solid addition. The guy's lights out as far as saves go. He hasn't blown a save yet, and it would be really nice to see him as a key addition moving forward as well.
Right, keeping Street would be key. San Diego's been known for the closer role and having a guy in that position where you shut the door down in the ninth inning. And we are so accustomed in San Diego to having that guy. And with contract talks going on with Street, hopefully they get it done and another piece to the puzzle for years to come.
Right. That on top of, Headley, could Headley be the one person that's traded? And if so, Jed Jerko, down there in AAA is knocking the cover off the ball. I mean, It started off in AA. He was solid, batting 280-ish.
Nothing crazy.
Right, but he jumped up to AAA now, batting 351. He's got 16 home runs and 57 RBIs in 58 games.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and I was going to touch on the Chase Headley thing first. As far as him being traded, I think at this point, as far as all Padre players go, I think Headley's the guy that you can get rid of for the most value,
right?
And get a large return back to put pieces in place for the future.
Absolutely.
And as far as Jerko down in AAA in Tucson, like you said, knocking the cover off the baseball, batting 351, 16 jacks, 57 ribbies. That is impressive. I don't care if it's in Tucson or wherever. That's a kind of production that gets you noticed, and it has. It has got him noticed. And Headley might be on the way out, and we could very well see Jerko here in the near future.
And I was kind of, when they started mentioning Headley, I'm like, come on, really? We're going to get rid of another, solid, quality player and, bring up another rookie who, hasn't proven himself. He hasn't had any big league experience. But, man, they rave about this kid. He was drafted, in the second round. A lot of people said he was undersized, but he's been just knocking the cover off the ball. That on top of having Forsythe.
Right.
They have enough depth there at third base where, if they move
they can feel
Headley,
comfortable. Yeah.
Right, I say do it. I mean,
I'm in agreement with you.
They're playing really well right now, and I don't think it's going to hurt anything by bringing Jed up.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not the way this season has gone, and like we touched on, it needs to be a quality value return for Headley because he is a monster at the plate.
Right. So what's your feelings as far as the trade deadline? Is there anybody else, that could be rumored as being trade bait? I mean, could we see, and I mean, we've gone through a lot of, injuries and whatnot, but could we see, Volquez getting moved or, anybody else from the bullpen maybe even?
I was trying to think about that the other day, and all the sites I go to, I always try to keep up on that hot stove stuff and the free agent list. And, the guy that I keep hearing, and it's really odd, and we've talked about him all year, is Chris Denorfia, which is really, really weird.
Yeah, that has picked up.
Yeah, because he always comes off the bench, and he always comes through. He's a beast.
Right.
He like we said, he should be a starter this year. I mean, a full-time starter. And it doesn't surprise me his name's out there. But that's the other guy I'm thinking. I mean, but other than that, I don't see Volquez leaving. I see him staying another year and adding to the quality of pitching we're going to have coming back next year.
Right. And, as far as, Denorfia goes, he's been really huge as far as, our bench play goes. So
he's a lift off the bench.
Obviously, it would be sad to see him go, but if they can get a draft pick out of it, why not?
Oh, quality, maybe a middle reliever, somebody with some decent value.
Right. We're going to move on to our pick-to-click segment. It's where Justin and I, we choose somebody who we believe is going to be, quality as far as driving in runs and produce very well this coming week. Who do you got?
My pick-to-click this week's going to be Alexi Amarista. Kid's batting .290 overall for the season, 4 jacks and 20 RBIs. We've already explained to everyone he's a firecracker. He gets things done. He's doing a really nice job in the leadoff role lately. He's kind of what we've been lacking this whole time for a leadoff hitter, a pure leadoff hitter. So that's my pick to click this week. Kid's tearing it up.
Right, and mine is going to be Chase Headley. He's just been a beast on the road. His numbers are all up on the road. He's batting higher average, 279, 8 home runs, 26 RBIs.
Beastly.
He's my pick to click.
Can't argue.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to our next segment, which we had a lot of fun with last week, and it is our D-bag of the week. Who do you got this week?
Well, last week's was pretty funny with Elvis Dumerville and the Donkeys, but this week it's going to go to the Dallas Cowgirls and Des Bryant. Apparently, he turned himself in after his mom called 911 for assaulting her, his mother.
Yeah.
That qualifies you for a D-bag of the week, a nomination for me. So
right, and for me, it is Aaron Berry. He went guns blazing. As far as the NFL goes, it's been seems like week after week. The guys are pulling guns. I don't know what they're thinking, but
they're strapped and loaded, baby.
He was in a rental car, backed up, like 3 people almost got ran over, and he literally rolled down the window and pulled a gun on them, and then they took off.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, ridiculous.
Too much money.
We're going to go to a quick break here. When we come back, we're going to be talking bolts and Aztec, so hang in there. We'll be right back with you.
And we'll see you real soon.
Take care.
And we're out. Good show, guys.
Thanks, Producer Jen. Good job there, little boy.
Thank you, Fat Man. You listen to talk radio in San Diego?
Of course I do. Where do you think I get my knowledge?
You call it knowledge, I call it right-wing propaganda.
What do you do now that there's no Air America, and thank goodness for that?
Well, unfortunately, when Air America went away, I had to find something else, so I started listening to sports talk radio.
Sports talk radio in San Diego is all the same. It's the same old, same old.
You're right. That's about to change.
How?
August 4th, PFP Sports is bringing their show to ESPN Radio AM 1700.
Really? August 4th. Is that a Saturday?
Saturday, August 4th, 9 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have their show every Saturday, and we will finally have a show that talks combat sports in San Diego.
Well, that I will definitely not miss.
Yeah, me neither.
Wow, you guys agree on something? It must be good.
So I've been living in Southern California my entire life, and I've been an MMA fan for a very long time. And if it's one thing that I can't stand, it's the lack of coverage for this amazing sport. I mean, really, if you're a fan of this sport, the only place you could find anything whatsoever is on FM. And I'm talking for 5, maybe 10 minutes, and you don't learn anything.
Not only that, it's your biggest stars, too. UFC champions. We hear them locally here on rock stations for 5 minutes, getting interviewed by rock DJs. So finally, we're bringing our show, Pound for Pound Sports, MMA dominant radio show, to the air. ESPN Radio 1700. Very excited about the move, starting August 4th, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 10.
And I can't wait. I mean, what a fantastic opportunity we finally have. We're in on the ground floor of something truly great, and I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity. So make sure you tune in Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10. We got the whole hour, ESPN Radio, 1700, San Diego.
August 4th, the takeover.
Hey, welcome back, San Diego Sports Junkies. It's time to bolt up. Sunday fun day, baby.
Chargers.
Talking Chargers. We're going to head into training camp. Chargers have made some moves that will make some, good battles moving forward. We signed Jackie Battle.
Hence Jackie Battle.
Yeah, a.k.a. Jackie Battle from Kansas City. He had 715 yards and 4 touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. Not going to light up the world, but, a very solid back.
No, Adrian.
We can bring into the mix here.
Yeah, he's no Adrian Peterson by any stretch, but Jackie Battle is going to bring a good third down presence in the backfield for us. And like you said, it's going to be a good running back camp this year with the addition of Ronnie Brown, Jackie Battle now. Ryan Matthews, he's going to be the starter. We got Edwin Baker.
LaRon
McClain, and also Jacob Hester. So It's going to be a busy backfield. And all Jackie Battle is going to do this year is going to add a little toughness. He can run between the tackles. He's not too fast on the edge. He's okay. He's not anything crazy, but he's just a big dude. He follows blocks well, and I think he can really be a productive back for us.
Right. I mean, he's a bruiser, and I mean, you pound LaRon McClain, and then you give him a break, and you bring in Jackie Battle, and now he's beating up the defensive line.
Back to nasty football again.
Right, and that's what it's all about. You wear down the defense, and then you start lighting them up with our receivers.
Oh yeah.
Who just
smoke
down the field.
Exactly.
So I mean, I think it's going to be a good addition to the Chargers.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good battle, during training camp to see who really wants to be on the team.
I really like what AJ did bringing in Ronnie Brown and Jackie Battle. It just creates competition, and veteran presence is back there. So
yeah, there's nothing wrong with competition. It's only going to make the team as a whole better.
It always motivates everybody else.
We also brought in and signed Abreu Franklin, 10-year pro, and he's just a behemoth of a man. The guy's 6'1", 315 pounds.
Huge.
They're saying they could put him in the middle, man, and he's just going to eat it up.
He's a car. He weighs as much as a car. The guy's huge. He can push defenders back. He had a really down year last year, from what I've
with the
read.
Saints, yeah,
with the Saints. He's bounced around. You know what though? Like we touched on earlier, it creates competition. The D line is depth crazy this year. We have so many guys.
Battle.
Yeah, once Luis Castillo was gone, you knew they were going to bring in another guy, and it has to be happened to be Abreu Franklin. So he's a veteran. We'll see what he can do. He's going to mix in well with the young guys and the veterans we already have on the team. So it should be a fun position to watch here in the preseason and in camp.
Absolutely, and I think he's just going to make the defense as a whole better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the thing that we really lacked in the last couple seasons is depth on the offensive and defensive line.
Yep.
And so to have these guys in the mix, they can interchange them, keep them healthy, keep them fresh.
Well, yeah,
and
especially in that 3-4.
Yeah, it's only going to make the defense as a whole better.
Right.
You're not going to get guys, gassed out there.
Yeah.
And so when you can really
when you get that set rotation, I think it's going to benefit the linebackers, because we're going to have a lot of those guys rotating, and as long as the cornerbacks and the safeties, it gives them a little break, because the guys up front are fresh, making plays for them in the backfield. So
we kind of touched on it last week. When we can collapse the pocket, it's just going to make everybody better. It's going to make the linebackers be able to get to the quarterback a lot easier. It's going to take a lot of pressure off of the secondary. They're not going to have to cover people for 5 days.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to make the whole defense better by getting pressure on that quarterback.
Oh, yeah, and the 3-4 is commonly known as, if you're a defensive lineman in a 3-4, you're not going to really be a 10 to 15 sack guy, even if you have talent, because the defense isn't predicated around the defensive ends. It's predicated at pushing the pocket back and allowing the linebackers to get in and make plays all over the field. So, but with the additions of these guys, it just bodes well for the whole team. So,
with that pressure, Peyton Manning's got some happy feet. Can you imagine when Melvin Ingram gets a fresh crack at it?
Oh man, off the edge, nobody
picks
him up.
See that.
And just blindsides him.
Yes, I can't wait to see that.
DL.
Yeah, absolutely. I apologize, Denver fans. Actually, no, I don't.
No.
I can't wait. I can't wait for Melvin Ingram to be unleashed on the dirty Broncos.
Oh man,
it's gonna be great.
And the Raiders and the Chiefs.
Right, the whole AFC West.
Beat them up, baby.
There's some people, like you were saying, they picked us to be third in the division. I don't think I've been more excited to watch San Diego football in probably like the last 2 or 3 years, since we were 14-2.
I tell you what, with the changes on defense, that's the most exciting to me. When you get a guy like Melvin Ingram that just is going to instantly excite you. Like, I'm not going to say he's going to be Sean Merriman in his first year, but who knows? He might be. We don't know what the guy's capable of. He has a high motor. Guy goes nuts on people,
Absolutely.
And so we do have something to be excited for. So a lot of good things happening on the defensive side of the ball this year for the Chargers.
Right. Kind of bittersweet news, Chris Dielman was released off the reserve retired list. There was a lot of people out there tweeting that, they were going to bring him back, and then they kind of shut down that talk really quick. And
it was false hope.
Right, it was false hope.
I was excited.
He would have made our offensive line that much better. I mean, he's already been working with these guys for years, and he would have, solidified another spot on the offensive line. But I wish him the best of luck, man. The guy,
he played his heart out.
Right, and he's just an amazing person, and he's going to do good things.
Yep, Dirty Dealman, man, number 68.
Yeah, we got a tweet in from our producer, and they're wondering if Dirty Dealman is going to be brought back for like an offensive lineman coach. And I have heard something about that. Yeah, I've heard that rumored that he's going to be, working as one of the coaches of the Chargers.
I would love that. I mean, he could bring an insight to the line, which would be unparalleled to anybody else. He's played the game at a high level for so long.
Right.
The only cautious thing I have for that would be, I'm keeping hearing that there's going to be like a lawsuit against the Chargers for safety issues. I don't know how that would all play into factor.
True.
I hope he does come into a role with the Chargers.
Right.
That would be awesome to just be on the field, have his presence around the locker room, firing those young guys up. But that
leadership.
Right, exactly. He brings a lot to the game, and his emotional drive would be perfect for us. So.
Absolutely.
But hopefully that works out, and there's no legal ramifications that are going to happen.
So as far as training camp with them opening up today, you know, the rookies all showed up today, but there was a lot of veterans. There was like 6 or 7 veterans that showed up today, and Rivers being one of them. You know, Rivers is a class act. I mean, that guy, his motor, his drive, I mean, he had a tough season last year with the turnovers and whatnot. We all saw what happened last year. But the fact that he's in there early, he's working, you know, it shows his determination, his fire, his will to, you know, do something this year, and it really, really excites me, you know, to see the veterans showing up like this and you know, wanting to, you know, get on with that grind.
You're exactly right. And the feeling I've always got from Philip, he is the leader. He's the leader of the team. He's always first to show up. He's always there first, working out. He's welcoming all the young guys. He's calling guys on draft day, congratulating, welcome to the Chargers. First to Chargers Park to do everything. Right. The guy's he's an endless worker. He lives in the film room. Right. He wants to win a Super Bowl for the San Diego Chargers. He's reiterated that so many times, and he is the perfect guy for the San Diego Chargers. You can't get better than a Philip Rivers-led football team.
Absolutely. We're going to quickly touch on some Aztec football news. There's been some reports that
some accolades.
Some Aztec football preseason standouts. Walter Kazin, the running back, has been named a preseason candidate for the 2012 Doak Walter Award. We also have Leon McFadden, cornerback, is one of 35 players named to the 2012 preseason watch list for the Jim Thorpe Award. He's also the first Aztec to be honored with that award. And Gavin Escobar, a tight end, is among 145 players named to the preseason watch list for the 2012 Rotary Lombardi Award.
Yep, all guys that had key contributions last year for the Aztecs and why we had such a great season. And these guys are guys you need to watch out for this season because they're just going to make plays, tight end, cornerback, and running back, key positions on the field. And what you get with McFadden is a shutdown corner. He's one of the top-rated corners in all of the nation. So
yeah, I'd like to see some bolts on him in the future.
That'd be kind of cool.
Absolutely.
Walter Kazin, he actually got to play behind Ronnie Hillman last year and actually had a really nice role mixing up Ronnie Hillman with a little power from Kazin. And Gavin Escobar, for me, is a tight end you need to watch. He is relentless. He catches everything, and he's a beast on the field.
Right. We're going to catch another break here, guys, but when we come back, we're going to be answering your questions, the fans' questions. We're going to do a couple Twitter shout-outs, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
So I've been living in Southern California my entire life, and I've been an MMA fan for a very long time. And if it's one thing that I can't stand, it's the lack of coverage for this amazing sport. I mean, really, if you're a fan of this sport, the only place you could find anything whatsoever is on FM. And I'm talking for 5, maybe 10 minutes, and you don't learn anything.
Not only that, it's your biggest stars, too. UFC champions. We hear them locally here on rock stations for 5 minutes. Getting interviewed by rock DJs. So finally, we're bringing our show, Pound for Pound Sports, MMA dominant radio show, to the air. ESPN Radio 1700. Very excited about the move, starting August 4th, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 10.
And I can't wait. I mean, what a fantastic opportunity we finally have. We're in on the ground floor of something truly great, and I couldn't be more excited about the opportunity. So make sure you tune in Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10. We got the whole hour, ESPN Radio 1700, San Diego.
August 4th, the takeover.
And we'll see you real soon.
Take care.
En route. Good show, guys.
Thanks, Producer Jen. Good job there, little boy.
Thank you, Fat Man. You listen to talk radio in San Diego?
Of course I do. Where do you think I get my knowledge?
You call it knowledge, I call it right-wing propaganda.
What do you do now that there's no Air America, and thank goodness for that?
Well, unfortunately, when Air America went away, I had to find something else, so I started listening to sports talk radio.
Sports talk radio in San Diego is all the same. It's the same old, same old.
You're right. That's about to change.
How?
August 4th, PFP Sports is bringing their show to ESPN Radio AM 1700.
Really? August 4th, is that a Saturday?
Saturday, August 4th, 9 o'clock in the morning. They're going to have their show every Saturday, and we will finally have a show that talks combat sports in San Diego.
Well, that I will definitely not miss.
Yeah, me neither.
Wow, you guys agree on something? It must be good.
Welcome back to San Diego Sports Junkies. It's now part of the segment where, you know, we get you involved. Remember, this is a show for the fans.
By the fans.
And, you know, we get questions from you guys throughout the week via Twitter, email, and we sift through those questions and pick out a couple that we
stand out.
Right, that stand out that we want to talk about. Something that we have in cahoots. First question: do we see more of the I formation with the addition of McLean and Battle this year?
Absolutely. I think Norv's going to get back to that power run game like we talked about last week. He's really predicated on the run game. He just really hasn't had the beastly run game since LT had left and departed. What we can do now with these big backs is, like we touched on, power up the middle, gain 3-4 yards of carry. That just really opens up the passing game with the new receivers and the tight ends and stuff. So once we get this running game going, power formation like we had it in 06-07 with McLean back there blocking the way, it's gonna have a McNeil. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's gonna have a lasting effect on this offense this year. So the I formation, it's a key. Yeah, who asked that question?
That question actually came from at C2SD, C2TSD. I apologize. Wanted to know as far as our I formation, if we're going to see more of it. So we thank you for that Twitter question. This one actually came in from at LB Host, which is what position battle in camp is the most intriguing to keep your eyes on this season? What do you think?
Mine is I'm going to go with the linebackers, and I thought about it, and I changed it to and also tight ends. To start with the linebackers, we have so many linebackers this year coming back off of injury. We got English, James Mouton, new guys with Jared Johnson. You still got Takeo Spikes. You got so many guys. They're so versatile. I'm interested to see who's going to make the team and what roles they're going to have, special teams or whatnot. And then the other one would be tight ends.
We were talking about that.
Yeah, and you can touch on that. We're logjam there. We've got good talent. We've got veteran talent. And like you were saying, maybe we can swindle a trade deal or something because we're stacked right now.
We got 5 solid tight ends right now, and we were talking. Actually, our producer Jason even touched on it with Randy McMichael. Is he going to have a spot on the roster? And my thing is if these guys show up and they battle hard and they all show that they are proven to be on the roster. I mean, obviously we can't carry 5 tight ends.
No.
But that makes a pretty good, trade bait.
Oh, yeah.
We got 5 studs.
Yeah.
What do you want to give up for them?
Right. Yeah, if you're going to offer something like a draft pick or something, you can't keep them all. There's 5 tight ends. I mean, usually you keep about 3, I would say. I think that's what you keep on a normal NFL roster.
Absolutely.
So 2 of these guys might be axed. Maybe you keep a fourth one around just for blocking purposes and special teams wise. But it's going to be a tough decision this year for the coaching staff at the Chargers to see who they're going to keep around.
Right. I think worst case scenario, one of them might be on the practice squad.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
But they can be; those guys can be claimed. So
they can be claimed, but at the same time, if we get an injury, they can be brought back to the active roster.
Yeah, you're right.
So
you're right.
That's an option for us.
Mm-hmm.
Justin and I kind of came up with this one, kind of an over and under segment. Over or under? Carlos Quentin has 25 home runs by season end.
I'm going to go a little bit under, but I think he's going to be around there. I think he's going to be in the 20 to 22 range. 25 seems a little unrealistic because of the spot starts he's been getting. He hasn't been playing every day. His knee's been giving him a little problems. But that's the whole reason people were skeptic on the long-term deal. He's not been playing every day. His knee's been a little shaken up. But as right now, I think he's going to brim around the 20 mark. 25 just seems unrealistic at this point of the season.
Right. Yeah, he's got 9 home runs right now, and we're about a week and a half, 2 weeks into the second half of the season. 25. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be closer to the 20, 22 in that area.
Now, if he gets on a streak like he did the beginning of his San Diego Padre career, batting 450 and stuff, that could awaken the bat and maybe he can get up to that 25.
It's always a possibility.
Yeah.
I mean, with hitting with anybody, really, it's a lot of it's streaky.
Right. It is.
You know what I mean?
And he's a very streaky hitter.
It's hot and cold, and if he can get hot, he can rattle off 4, 5, 6 home runs in a couple weeks span.
He's that good.
Then you get one here, get one there, and all of a sudden he's right there at 25.
Exactly.
I mean, it's definitely a possibility. Next over under. Your buddy Yasmani.
Yasmani, baby.
Yasmani Grandal. Does he have 45 RBIs in the second half of the season?
I say he has right around there too. I'm going to say a little bit under. I think he's around 25 or 26 right now, I believe.
Right.
45 for the second half of the year would be awesome. That would be a monster second half for me. I think he's got another 6 or 7 jacks in him.
Right.
To be honest, he's a power hitter, all sides of the plate. Like we've already explained.
Right.
But 45 is not out of the realm. I think he's going to hover around 40, and he's just productive. He gets hits all the time.
Right. I agree with you. We got another Twitter question that we'll touch in just a second, but I'm going to agree with you with Yasmani Grandal.
Think he hovers around there?
I think he hovers around there. I think in the future he's definitely going to be an 80 to 100, maybe 120 guy.
Like we were talking about.
So I definitely think it's a possibility.
Right.
I mean, he is a rookie and he's going to go through, his downs, and ups. But I think 45. If he hits 45,
that's impressive.
Yeah, I think we're turning a lot of heads.
You've got you've pretty much proven that you've got a catcher who's here to stay.
Right.
If you can get around that 40 mark. So
the Twitter question again, Jason. So we had somebody tweet in: is Nick Hundley part of the Padres organization next year? I don't know. I mean, it's a good question, but I think if Yasmani Grandal does anywhere near this 45 RBI mark, I don't see how he could be with us next year. I mean, it's not that he's old by any means.
No.
He's young.
He's in his prime.
But I think Yasmani Grandal has way more upside.
Yasmani Grandal has proven that he belongs here already.
Right.
Who's to say that's going to last? We don't know. We got to see the second half of this year from him. But as far as Hundley goes, I say get rid of him now.
Yeah.
Because he's regarded as one of the best defensive catchers in all of baseball.
As far as the trade deadline,
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
If you can include him in a deal for somebody else to get in here and get more prospects back, I say you send Hundley and Headley shipping and get some quality picks back for him. That would be awesome because you're not going to do anything with Hundley. We're so stacked in the minor league system right now with Austin Hedges,
right?
And I forget the other kid's name right now, but we've got depth at the catcher position right now. We're solid at catcher and third base, so I mean you can dangle him out there and see what we can get for him.
Right. Last question that we have also came from @CT2SD. And he actually heard this on the radio, but what Chargers player that was not on the team last year will be the most, or should say will have the most impact?
For me, it's Jared Johnson, free agent from Baltimore. The guy brings toughness, leadership. He's going to bring an intensity to this defense, Josh, and something we've been lacking for a long time. Takeo Spikes was a great pickup last year, but he didn't really fire me up.
Right.
He got guys going. It was great, but he doesn't really have the physical skills like he used to.
Right.
But he's a solid defender in the run game. But for me, it's Jared Johnson because he brings that fiery, high motor type of character,
right.
And he knows how to win football games.
Right.
He's going to get that defense in shape, and it's going to be fun during those pregame when they have the mics all mic'd up.
Right.
I want to see him firing up that defense, getting
right.
mad at him, doing a little headbutting. I want to see that crazy white boy getting nuts on the field.
And I say the same thing as far as what you're talking about, the fiery and the motor is Melvin Ingram. I mean, I really think that he can step up and be a force on the defense.
Definitely. Two guys right there, high motors.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to our last segment, and this is where we like to shout out some of our followers. For me, I'm going to shout out, I should say, at TRW or TRWickard96. It's TRWICKORD96. He's a big SoCal sports fan. You need to follow this guy. I mean, he's a diehard Charger fan, Padre fan. He follows the Aztecs, Angels. I mean, he's a good follow. You guys need to follow at TRWickard96.
There you go. And if anybody is a big Aztec enthusiast like myself, this man right here is covering football, basketball, recruiting for Rivals.com, Yahoo Sports. He is at Ruben Meza, ASR, with a Z. That's Ruben Meza with a Z, ASR. So follow him for anything Aztecs related. Great insight for recruiting football and basketball, and we have plenty to talk about, and he's got all the great news for you.
Yeah, and Ruben, if you're watching, we would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, definitely make an appearance, man. Like we said, we got a seat right over here with your name on it. You can put on the Aztec helmet and sing the fight song if you want.
Absolutely. Guys, we want to thank you for turning in to San Diego Sports Junkies. Remember, we're a show for fans.
By the fans.
And we really appreciate you guys tuning in, tweeting in. Please continue to do so. This show is for you. We want to thank you. Again, my name is Josh Taylor. You can follow me on Twitter at SDFan2378.
I'm Justin Smead, and you can follow me at BoltsPride21. And we really appreciate you watching this evening.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good one.